Welcome to the world of Muckster, the wit, the educator, and the lovable tyrant. Here, no nonsense survives, no foolishness goes unchecked. With sharp honesty, biting humor, and a touch of tyranny, Muckster will entertain you, challenge you, and open your eyes to new ideas. Prepare to laugh, learn, and maybe squirm a little, because with Muckster, the truth always comes first. Remember to like, subscribe, and donate generously.
Hello, people. So, I don't like to get into political stuff much, but I thought maybe it's about time I gave some thoughts on this Charlie Kirk. He deserves to be eulogized by the best. Let me just say, the other day when I heard that Kirk was killed, I was like, you mean the guy from Star Trek? Yeah, I'm no good at that. It's like, sure, Picard was great, but as far as I'm concerned, Kirk was the man. And then they were like, "Oh, Charlie Kirk," and I said, "Oh, that guy who's always debating teenagers." Yeah. Anyway, so I thought, what could I say that was deserving of him? And I thought I don't really have the words for a guy like that. So I thought, with the help of a friend on Facebook, I will eulogize him with his own words. Let's bring this up here. Okay, here's one from January 23, 2024. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Okay, I'm understanding now why a certain YouTuber that I don't want to mention Todd by name seemed to be a fan of Kirk's. Let's see what else he had to say. The single woman issue is one of the biggest issues facing a civilization. Okay, why? Why? If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? That was from January 2024. Yeah, because if you're dealing with a moronic white woman, you don't stop and say, oh, is she here because her uncle is the manager? No, it's only if they're black that they're there for some other reason. On black women in positions of power, you do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. And that was from July of 2023. I can see now why people idolized him so much. He was, a very enlightened individual. Next, here we have one from June of this year. It's time to ban third world immigration, legal or illegal. We've reached our limit and we have a huge cultural, educational, housing, financial, and essential services problem to fix now because of it. We need a net zero immigration moratorium with a ban on all third worlders. Yes, the reason we don't have enough money for these educational, housing, financial, essential problems is because of immigrants. It has nothing to do with all the tax breaks to billionaires and all of that. Let's see. Here's one. Ketanji Brown Jackson is a diversity hire. She's only there because she's a black woman. That is from June of 2025. In case you don't know, Ketanji Brown Jackson is a justice on the U.S. Supreme Court, who apparently was only hired because she's black. It's not because she's a Harvard graduate and an experienced jurist. He was a great guy, wasn't he? I mean, really, you gotta love this Charlie Kirk guy. If you actually watch his trial, it's obvious Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong. That's from 21. Yeah, he did nothing wrong, right? Birth control is awful. It's terrible, and it creates very angry and bitter young ladies and young women. Then that bitterness then manifests into a political party that is the bitter party. I mean, the Democrat Party is all about bring your bitterness and, we'll give you free stuff. Yes, it is the Democrats. I'll admit it, the Democrats who are bitter, they're the ones that are always, complaining about immigrants and the poor and all that. Yeah. 0 people from Gaza should be allowed to come to America, period. July of 25. There shouldn't be a transgender day of visibility. Cancel it. Wait a minute. Cancel it? Cancel? I thought the liberals were the cancel people. Abortion is not health care. Well, yeah, you would say that, you stupid fucking male. You've never had to deal with any of those problems. On protesters. If somebody has had enough of your antics and has to run you over to get somewhere, they shouldn't face any penalties. Well, should we say the same, that if somebody is sick of what your antics are, that they should be able to shoot you without any penalties? Just asking. I can't stand the word empathy. Actually, I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that it does a lot of damage. Well, I'm not surprised that you and people like you do not like the word empathy. And I'm not surprised that the guy who had to drop out of community college because it was too tough thinks that it's a made-up word that hasn't been around for centuries. I'm telling you, I know this is supposed to be all about Charlie, but more and more that I see of him, it reminds me of a certain YouTuber that, again, I won't mention because this isn't the place to make fun of dwarfs. Okay, we're back to the beginning. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Yeah, hello, Mountain Girl Nerdy. Yeah, so anyway, that was Charlie Kirk. I can see why everybody is talking about what a great loss he is to society. If he just stayed around longer, he could have really been teaching the next generation about hate and racism and misogyny. But rest in peace, Charlie. Let's see. That's all I got. I'm out of here.
And that's the way it is.
Well, that was disappointing.